What's up, YouTube? This is Bullseye Nate 231, and we are back at it with some rear brakes and rotors on this 2012 Nissan Rogue. This procedure is going to be the same for Nissan Rogues 2010 all the way through 2014. Again, this is the rear brakes. I do have a video of the front brakes and rotors. I'll drop a link in the description below. But here's some of the things you're going to need before we get started. We're going to need a jack. We're going to need a socket set. I'm using a 1/2-inch drive because the torque on the caliper bolts is usually pretty hard. So I got a wrench that's extendable and everything, so that'll be good. I got, of course, the new brakes and the new rotors. We got a jack stand and we got a block. So the block is just going to jump right in here. We're going to put that underneath behind the tire just to hold the car in place, just for safety precautions. And then we're going to want to take our ratchet and a 21mm socket, or if you have a T-bar, and we're going to take all of the lugs loose. Not completely off, just we're going to loosen them all so that way when we jack the car up, they're not too, if the tire wants to spin, they're not going to be too tight. Alright, so now that we got them all loose, we're going to get the jack in position. Get under here where you can see, get a good jacking point. So right here on the frame, as soon as you look under here, you can see they got the frame right here. This is going to be a good jacking point because it's strong. So we'll go ahead and jack it up. Alright, so we got the car jacked up. We just need to jack it up just enough to get the wheel off the ground, as you can see. And we're going to secure our jack stand right here on this frame. You can see where I positioned it there. So I got the jack on the other side. I got the stand right here in case the jack gives way, just to kind of protect everything. And now we can go ahead and finish taking off the tire, which, since I got all the bolts loose now, got one of these impacts. Again, this is a 21mm. This makes things a lot easier. Alright, so we got 5 lugs. And to get the tire off, we just lift, push it to the side. And now you can see we have our brakes and rotors. Now, you can see that there's some grinding going on in here. They're actually metal on metal. So we're going to change out the rotors and the brakes themselves. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So first thing we're going to do is disconnect the caliper. So if you look here on the back of the caliper, you can see this bolt right here. You got one on the top, and then there's actually another one down here. I don't know if you can see where my hand is, but it's down here on the bottom. It's going to be the same exact size. It basically mounts the caliper to the hub here. So we're going to take those off, and that is going to be, I believe, maybe a 17. Yep, going to be a 17mm. So we're going to go ahead and loosen those. Now these can be kind of tough sometimes, so I'm going to put the camera down to break them loose, but this is where a cheater bar or one of these extendable ratchets come in handy, where you can really get some tension, some torque on it to kind of loosen them. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these loose, and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so as you can see, we've got our caliper bolts just about out. See if I can get you a better shot of where that one on the bottom is. Let's see. Yeah, so there it is there. You can see it. So yeah, the bottom one is literally right below the top one. So I got that one out. I'm just gonna put them to the side. And then the top one here. Take that one out. We're just gonna put those there. And then the caliper is loose, ready to come off. So we're just gonna kind of work it off. It's gonna be kind of tough because This one, it's metal on metal, and the brakes have been kind of grinding into the rotor. So we're just going to do what we got to do to get it off. There we go. A little persuasion. As you can see, this is a flex line. You can tell on this side, this is a fixed metal line. As long as you have a flex line, you can kind of take your caliper and fold it up. Just try not to stress the lines too much. And we're just going to take it and we're going to set it right up on top there. Another option is you can hang it like from this hole or something, you know, over here, even over here, wherever it'll reach, you know, to kind of keep minimal stress on those lines. So anyway, so now the rotor is just about shot. You can really see it's been digging in there on the sides. So anyway, the rotor is actually free. The caliper is what holds the rotor on. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a pull. And it does not want to come off. So I'm going to go ahead and... Actually, I didn't include this in the beginning, but you're going to need a C-clamp. This is where a little hammer will come in handy. And you're just going to kind of beat on it a little bit. I might have to go grab a hammer. We're going to beat on it a little bit, and it's going to slide right off. Sometimes dirt and grime and buildup gets in there, so they're hard to get off. We're going to hit it a few times, here, 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 and under here, and it should just pop right off. Alright, so this one was a pretty bad one. You can see all the rust and corrosion. You can actually see all the stuff on the ground that fell out of the rotor as I had to beat on it. So basically what I did was I beat on it right here on the side. I beat on it here, 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 and underneath. Just tried to kind of loosen it up all the way around. Trash was falling out. It wasn't budging at all. Got a little bit of WD-40 and shot it on the inside where you can see all this rust. And so I let that penetrate in a little, get in there a little bit. And then I knocked it a couple more times and it came right off. So as you can see, there's a little rubber grommet right here. So you get a screwdriver or something and you want to take that out so you can put it on your new rotor. But now the rotor is free, as you can see, which I might have to hit a little bit more. So now it wants to come off. All right, and so there is the old rotor, and we're going to compare them to the new rotor. Make sure we got the right one. As you can see, it's got 5 lugs. We've got the hole for the rubber grommet right here. So we're going to put that in the same position, facing down at the bottom there. So now we might take a little bit of the brake clean and clean some of this up, because we don't want WD-40 getting on our new brakes or anything like that. So we're going to clean this up, and then we're going to set the new rotor in. Alright, so we got our new rotor here. I got it unwrapped. As you can see, there's some oil in the package. They actually oil the rotor so they don't rust while they're sitting in the shelf. So what I'm going to do is just spray a little brake clean on here to cut the oil off, so that we don't have any oil surfaces on the stopping surface of the rotor. So I'm not going to worry about all this because, you know, that's okay. But we're going to want to do the front and the back. You can really see some of the oil on there. I'm going to spray a little in the rag. Wipe the clean surface clean, and then the middle section is actually going to be where your parking brake is. So we're going to wipe them out too, so we don't have any oil residue inside there as well. Alright, now your rotor's nice and clean, and she's ready to go back on the vehicle. So come back over here, and I think I can do this with one hand. I'm going to put the little rubber grommet back in the same exact place that it was when we took it off. And the new one should slide on a lot better. So there you have it. She slid on, and it just sits there. And the caliper is what you reattach that holds it on, and it'll seat, you know, after you put it on. Don't forget to put this little rubber grommet back in. So it fits right in there like that. That's all set, and then we are set to deal with the caliper. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our caliper, turn it on the front here where we can see it, keep it off the new rotor. You can do this first, it doesn't matter which order you do that in, but what we're going to do is we're going to take a C-clamp and we're going to put it, we're going to leave the old brake shoe. You can see I removed the one on the front, or it fell out, it's down there, but I removed this one because you have one on each side of the caliper. I'm sorry, you have two in the caliper, one on each side of the rotor. And so what we're going to do, we're going to leave this one in, and we've got to push this piston back because the new brake shoes are going to be a lot thicker, and so they're not going to fit over the rotor. So we got to push this piston back inside the caliper here so that there's enough room for it to slide over. So what we're going to do is just leave it like this, and we're going to take our C-clamp and we'll open it up enough. I'm going to need 2 hands to do this, but I'm going to open it up enough to where I can get this C-clamp on it, and then we're going to just clamp it, and it's going to push the piston all the way back inside the caliper. Alright, so I got the C-clamp here on the caliper, just kind of get you a visual of what I'm doing here. And I'm just cranking. I've got the C-clamp mounted on that bolt to the front, and I'm just kind of cranking from this side, and that is pushing that piston back inside the caliper. So you want to do it just like this. You want to make sure you push it all the way back in. This is a good time where you can open the hood and check your brake fluid level. If somebody put brake fluid in your reservoir while it was low, it was because when these push out, there's more fluid in the system, and so the brake fluid goes down. So you may add, and then when you're pushing it back out, you're kind of pushing the fluid the other way, so it may want to overflow the reservoir. So you might want to keep an eye on that just to make sure that you're good on the fluid level. But we're going to push this all the way back, and then we're going to set the new pads in. Alright, so you can see we've got our piston all the way back in the caliper itself. And so now there is no gap. That brake is flat against. The piston is all the way back inside of the caliper. And so what we're going to do now is go ahead and take this brake out. And the way you do that is you just kind of push them out. They just slide out, slide in and out. So, get my fingers in there to do it. Alright. That's one side, the other side. It's really hard to hold the camera and do both of this. Alright. So, that is free. Okay. So, as you can see, this one wasn't too bad. I mean, it was ready to be changed almost on the edge there, and this one is like flat. This looks like it's starting to rub the metal over here on the side there. So those definitely need to be changed. So we now you can get a better look at the piston. You can see the piston is all the way pushed back in there. Also, when you change these, you might want to get a flathead screwdriver because they give you new hardware. As you can see, these little metal clips that are inserted in the ends, they actually give you brand new ones. So we are going to go ahead and change those so that we get some brand new clips in there to hold the new brakes in. We're going to compare our brakes, and you'll notice that this one has this little thing on it. This little thing is actually designed to squeak when the brakes are ready to be changed, so that way you know that you need to change your brakes because they're grinding on the rotors. So it'll start making a real high-pitched squeak noise. That one was on the front like this. So we're going to make sure we find the one with the squeaker, which is this one, and we're going to put it right back in just like that one sat in there. And so we're going to do that. We're going to put the new hardware in. These you just pop out with a screwdriver and set them right back in. Super easy. And then we're going to set the new brakes in. Alright, so I kind of got the caliper set up on the side here, and you can see how these clip in. So I'm going to attempt to do this without holding everything at once because I got one hand on the camera. But you can see how they just pop right out. And so we're just going to pop them out like that, and then we're going to pop the new ones right back in. You got one on the bottom and one on the top. And so sometimes they give you multiple little brackets depending on which model you have. It may take a different bracket, so if they give you extra brackets, just put the one that matches the one that comes out of it back in. So I'm going to pop these out and put the new ones in, then we'll show you how to put the brakes in. Alright, so we got our new clips in, as you can see, and they literally just slide and pop in. Pretty self-explanatory. And we have slid our new brakes into the caliper. And so now we are ready to rehang this bad boy on the rotor. And so what we're gonna, all we have to do is just turn this around, and we're gonna make sure it fits. Alright, so let me just show you a little thing. I made a little oopsie over here. So if you look right here, you can see the clip that I put there is actually hitting the rotor and not allowing the caliper to go on. And that's because there's two different sizes. So I messed up lining them up. So you got this one, which is the bottom, which that one's working fine. And then the top one is actually a little bit smaller. So they give you this huge bag full of all of these, and so you just got to dig through them and find the ones that are right. So I actually grabbed two of these, and I thought I was grabbing one of the shorter ones and one of the longer ones. So anyway, I'm going to flip those around real quick. I'm going to put this one back in on the top, and it'll slide right back on. So that's why you just got to make sure you line everything up and match everything up correctly. Alright, so we got the clip straightened out and got those lined back up again. Got the new brakes back in, and then see how it fits right on there now. No problems. It's not dragging at all. So we're going to take our two, I think they were 17 millimeters, and we're going to put those back in, feed them in through the back, like so. This can be kind of hard because you kind of got to balance the caliper. So I'm going to get these started, and then I'll show you what to do after that. Alright, so just about got these all in. Tighten them down the bottom one. We're going to make sure we get these real tight again, because the torque spec on these is pretty high. So make sure that is good, and we're going to make sure this one's good up here. Snug them up good. Alright, so we got those all tight. We got the new brake shoes on. We got the piston pushed back on the caliper. We got the new clips on. We got the new rotor on. We put the rubber grommet back in, and now we're about ready to put the tire back on. Alright, so now that I got these fed in by hand, I'm now going to take my impact, or this is when you take your T-bar or your ratchet and something. I'm just going to do a star pattern here. Tighten them all in. All around. Alright, we got them all on. Alright, so now we're going to remove our jack stand from underneath the vehicle. You may have to jack up the car a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do that a little bit so that I don't have to worry about that. You can see I'm just off the jack stand here. I'm just going to pull it out. This lever is to release the jack stand. But so now we got the jack stand out. And we're going to lower the jack. Make sure everything is clear from underneath the vehicle. Let her down nice and slow. Alright. And that is it. The brake job is done. Just for double security, I'm going to go ahead and put my ratchet on the end, my socket on the end of this ratchet. And make sure that my wheel lugs are tight. Yeah, so I'm going to give them a little bit of a turn. Make sure they're nice and snug. Okay. Alright. Looks good. Alright, again, so that's a 21 millimeter. The bolts for the caliper bracket were 17 millimeters, and I think that is it. The procedure is exactly the same for the other side. You want to make sure you do these at the same time. You don't want to just do one side and leave the other side the same. Always do them in pairs. Do the front together, back together, do all four at the same time. So that is it for today. I hope this video is helpful. Hope you were able to see exactly what you need to do step by step and the tools that you're going to need to perform this procedure to your vehicle for yourself. If y'all have any questions, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my page. Thanks for watching.